There are several other experts who, for years, have been thinking about underlying motivational drivers, intention, purpose, function of the inner critic. But I've caught up with this thinking, and it just makes some good sense to me that since we have this amazing organ called the brain, which is the residence of this other amazing element called the memory, which is stubborn, doesn't easily, relinquish its hold on the archives of experiences and early stories. It's hard to silence an inner critic. It's hard. And we know that there are times when the best we can offer, and the most important thing we can offer, is to silence or to try to silence that inner critic, because it can be so diabolical, so sinister, so painful to patients who have suffered abuse. I'll talk about that a little bit more. But there are also those who they're not going to give it up so easily. And if we get curious about that, we can think about underlying motivation that might be linked with good intention, good purpose, good function. So the question becomes, how do we then get it to mingle with, instead of mingling with schemas, right? Because I think the critic tends to mingle with schemas and becomes that voice of the schema, sometimes very loudly, sometimes very cruelly, in a mean-spirited kind of tone of voice, sometimes in just sort of matter-of-fact ways that get accepted without question. How can we convert that or get that to mingle with the healthy adult so that the message gets adapted into one that really matches the intention? There's Wendy talking about intention and impact again. Yes, indeed, because again, the greatest form of communication, and that doesn't mean it's always positive, but it's accurate and it's helpful and it's honest and it's real, is that which carries forth an intention in the clearest, most genuine way so that it lands with the impact that's intended. So, going to be covering a lot of material in this segment, looking at how we use empathic confrontation specifically to deal with evacuation procedures, to deal with conversion of a critic when possible, to really look at what we have at our disposal in this really wonderful strategy that can make the difference at, again, being able to open the door to more emotion focused work. Sometimes this unto itself can be so healing in the context of a therapy relationship where you bear witness, where you hold the key to, looking at that story in a very deep and defined way, and then rewriting it, right? As we say, rescripting it, using that imagination to reimagine